Hey guys, this is Brown Bear here. It's the 4th, so that means it's Saturday night. Just got back from doing some choral performance stuff that I'm doing this next this next weekend actually, up in Milwaukee. So that's kind of tied me up most of the day. But I also didn't want to let this kind of go to the wayside, and I wanted to at least make a video and say, I'm still here. I'm not like just falling off the side of the bridge. But basically, it's not. There isn't too much traffic going on, signups wise. But I think it's more. I'm beginning to build, the stepping stones to build what's to come. So really right now it's more answering questions, it's more corresponding, seeing testimonies, showing the video, using different methods to, engage people on this subject and do it in a more meaningful way. Something not as sterile or, cookie cutter as something that could be done, in a and training is there to help you begin what you're doing, but then at a certain point, you want to add your own flavor, you want to add your own spin. And I am 100% open to people asking me, what do you think would be a good spin? What would be a good, something that people can grasp onto? What's that catchword that they could leap onto? And I'm totally up for helping for that because I want to see you succeed as much as you want to succeed. So if I see you really working hard and you really need some help and you want to, throw it out there, I'm not against answering it and I don't think any leader should be, because any question is a valid one. It's not in terms of, what you've done, what you haven't done. I think it's all valid. I think you can ask a question. I think you can get an honest answer. But that's just my own personal opinion. I don't know, what everyone else does. That's their own deal because that's their own businesses. That's not mine. But for my business, I want to say that I will be doing that, and being way more, upfront and saying these things. Actually, before I go any further, I also do want to talk about a weird, interesting conversation I had yesterday. Actually, a gentleman from Florida, South Florida, I think, he contacted me yesterday, and he was wondering kind of what was going on up here. He was saying all this buzz and all these, posts that I'm posting. What is this all about? And so, I took the time to explain, what it's about, what you need to do, in terms of the differences between Explosial and my own spin on it, which I think everyone, to some extent, I can honestly say, has their own spin. My business is not the same as Justice Trust's business, which is not the same as Ray's business, which is not the same as, whoever's business. I'm throwing names out there for example. Their businesses are all different. They all have different spins. They all have different ways that they click with their audiences. So, to find that click, that's what you gotta, move towards when it comes to that. And so he really just kind of wanted to get a better understanding of some of the tactics that I use, in terms of, how the promotion is going to work once it's no longer on the internet, it's actually on the ground. So there's going to be physical groundwork going on, as well as being directed to the prospects page and Facebook page. So it all kind of works like a well-oiled machine. Once you get it going, it's just that, it just depends on who you get. I'm going to pitch it to anyone and everyone that wants to, and then through, listening to what they have to say, answering questions, that will give me a much better idea if, you're really motivated to do it. It sounds like I'm being really picky, but not really. If worse comes to worse, and someone does drop out, I'd rather be like, man, that's a, you know, that's a loss that actually is considerable to me. Unlike if someone's going to drop in a month and you're just like, okay, well, they're just going to drop, so I'm expecting this to happen. You could factor it into what you're doing before it's even happened. So it becomes a really, really weird situation when you have things like that happen. But it's important that you continue to remember that it's going to happen. You're going to be asked about things. You're going to be, questioned about what you do. And be happy and proud to tell people what you do and how you do it. Because if you're just going to sit there and withhold information and kind of go, well, I don't want to, tell everyone my secret. I mean, there really is no secret. Everything that is different between Explosional and my program is all outlined on all outlined in my videos that are on the prospects page. So you get a better explanation about how the team is a much more integral part to this than just simply being on the computer, corresponding, that kind of stuff. I mean, it's really going to be more... The farther down the line we go, the more it's going to be groundwork and not so much internet. Because, I mean, after a while, people are not going to be really gravitating towards the internet. I mean, even with people who are, I'm going to be pitching to, their initial response is going to be, well, why this, why that? Just go check the page, and you'll have all your questions answered. You can say that, but you're like, what if you need to fill in the gaps? I would much rather fill in the gaps using, real conversation, meeting up somewhere at a coffee shop, doesn't really matter to me, a restaurant. Either way, I think it needs to be much more personal than just the internet. I mean, isn't that what we're really trying to get away from? And it wouldn't actually, in a bigger sense, wouldn't that validate what the program is about how it's not fake, that these people are real and they are really willing to come and see you? I personally, and I've been watching this for a little bit, I haven't seen many people do it, but the people who do significantly get more traction and way, 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 way more volume because they're being themselves. They're being personal. They're being their own entity, but at the same time, they're also not making it seem like it's just a pitch, that it's just a lousy, sterile kind of pitch. Because to be honest, no one is going to buy into that if your pitch isn't very lively, or if your pitch is way lively to the point where it's like almost god awful. You have to kind of find that balance between the two. So, I mean, along with that, you're going to find that rejection is going to happen, that you have to factor in that this rejection is going to happen, because if you don't, you're really going to be at a disadvantage when it comes to, other people, because they're going to have factored this in and say, this is how many people I think I'm going to lose. If I'm above that margin, then I'm doing fantastic. If I'm below that margin, then I'm not doing very well at all. That's what it should be. It shouldn't really be a term of, this is what motivates you, this is what you do. It's really more of your own kind of progress, self-evaluation to explain, what works in your business and what doesn't, and then you have to kind of look at yourself and say, can I work this so it will be more sustainable, or can I work this so it will be a lesser problem next month? So pretty much the same pitch that you get from everyone else, that you just need to continue moving up and forward. So besides that, there really isn't much to say. I actually am going to try to keep this video short because I don't want to deal with YouTube partnership today. And I got to set it up, and it doesn't take that long, but I don't want to really get into it. I'm already tired and it's late. So, but yeah, my number's going to be up on the description of this video. Same with my email. Contact me with any questions, anything. And from Bear Cave Industries, this is Brown Bear saying, earn while you learn.